Man, I have a lot of work to do today. What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. My name is Chris, I'll be your host. If this is the first time you guys been on my channel, I have an online store and I just crossed over the 10,000 live listings on eBay. I affectionately call that 10K on the bay, and it took me 4 years to do that, but I have to start completely over, which is kind of frustrating, but it's also the best part, and I'm gonna go over why I have reached reseller nirvana, which is where you have the same number of sales as what you list in your store every day. So I have 100 new listings going into the store and also 100 or more sales every single day. So I could, in theory, take a break now and go have a mimosa on the beach, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna put my foot on the gas pedal and try to move from 100 listings a day to 140 listings a day, which means I have to tear everything down and start over again, because what got me here will not get me there. So if I follow my own advice, which is do long-term things in long-term industries with long-term people, this is what I would do. Right now, I'm in the pre-owned category, which I feel like is a fantastic place to be. People right now are more into recycling. They're trying to prevent this stuff from going into the landfill. People love having less stuff. Minimalism is huge. So what that means is this secondhand revolution is massive. Now, if you think about what secondhand goods are and where they're normally found, it's usually the thrift store or the flea market or garage sales. And the majority of the things that are available are women's clothing. In fact, you could even call a thrift store a women's used clothing store, because it's like 80% of what's in there. There's also specific stores that specialize in that, and online platforms like Poshmark, Tradesy are basically 100% women's clothing, right? So that being said, this is the category that has the most longevity. So I'm going to show you guys how I plan on taking advantage of that, even though my main category is shoes. Let's get into the content. Okay, so getting to that next level is going to require me to do some bulk purchasing. So I'm making some wholesale lots for people. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm sorting based on what people want. So for example, this lady wants only blouses, only dresses, career wear stuff. I have a different lady that wants the opposite. She only wants bottoms, which makes sense to me because you can scale a lot faster. There's less measurements for pants than there are for dresses, in my opinion, because you're just doing, waist, inseam, thigh measurement, cuff measurement, rise. And if you are doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's really easy to scale. So I imagine her store is going to grow a lot. It's already at 3,500 listings. She should be able to grow easily double if she's buying wholesale in this type of quantity. So how it happens is it comes in, I start sorting it. So I think that this stuff's maybe worth 15, this stuff's worth maybe 20, and this stuff's going to be worth 25 or more. So specifically, this lady is looking for all plus size Levi's or better, and she's looking for numbered Levi's. So for example, this is the 310 18W. I'm pretty sure that's plus size, but I will double check before I send the shipment to her, because she's looking specifically for that. Personally, I'd rather not sell women's clothing, but I need to get it in order to get enough men's for myself. So to give you guys an idea of how difficult it is to actually get enough quantity, this is one of the brands that I like to sell, Eaton. In this entire lot of about 2,000 pieces, I only found 2 or 3 items that are men's and over $40. Very difficult to find, but that's okay because I'm still learning how to scale to that next level. Athleisure is a category that I do like to sell in. In all the athleisure that came in, none of it was men's. So there's a lower end, which is like Gap Fit, Old Navy. The higher end is like Athleta, Lululemon. This stuff is gonna sell really fast. A lot of people that have reached out want only Lululemon or Athleta or Zella or Beyond Yoga. I think that's Anthropologie's brand. This stuff's gonna sell really quickly. I also have a different pile of all new with tags, and then outerwear. A lady's saying she only wants Marmot or North Face. So I'm putting together a lot for her. Let's see. Yeah, this is like all, yeah, so like fleeces, she's looking for stuff like this to sell. So in the women's category, I'm going to start making lots for people. I still have all these different bags of stuff to look through. Down here, this is the part of reselling nobody talks about, which is the returns from the weekend. So I have returns every single day. So I met a gentleman that had $7,000 in returns a day. And you know what? God bless him, because that means he's having a lot of sales. So don't fear returns. It's just part of the business. I'm going to deal with that later today. I deal with returns like a brand new item. It comes in and it gets reinvestigated because I want to know what happened the first time and can we prevent it from happening again. So, lesson needs to be learned there. And then all these boxes are going out today, the bigger wholesale ones. I'm selling around 100 pieces at a time. So these boxes are between 200 and 800 depending on what kind of stuff is in it. If it's all super high-end stuff, I'm going to be charging around $8 a piece, and the lower end stuff between $2 and $4 a piece depending on what it is. But I am excited because a lot of people are really specific in what they're looking for, only new or only certain brands, and just makes it easier to sort when you already know who is looking for what. All right, guys, so everyone's been asking me basically the same question, which is, how do I get rich reselling? And I'll give you the answer right now. I'm certainly not super wealthy from reselling, but I do understand what it takes, and there's really just two ways of doing it. One, you sell necessities. Okay, so if you were the world's greatest salesperson of toilet paper, you would probably be a multimillionaire, because that's never going out of style. People wipe their butts every single day, and they probably will our entire lifetimes. If you get into that industry, or paper towels or napkins or cutlery, I just looked at this store that does $1 million a month just selling knives and spoons and forks. People are going to use that forever. Those kinds of industries are really stable and they last for a long time. If you were to go to the yacht club at the marina, somebody there is just selling stuff that you wouldn't even normally think of that they sell every single day. Like this alarm system. Alarm systems probably do super well because people need security. They always will. Now, there's one more way to do it, which is selling nostalgia. That's where the profit margins are much higher. Somebody may have gotten this G-Shock at their first job and now they're a multimillionaire in their 50s. They might pay you 25 grand for that watch so they can relive their childhood days. Nostalgia sells. Nostalgia is when the emotion transfers from one person to another, and people will pay a fortune for that. Right now, the trend is people's opinions are their religion. It's their nostalgia. It's their energy, right? So let me ask you guys a real question. On this pair of sneakers that came in the lot that just came in, there was 12 pairs of shoes that match my criteria, and this is one of them. There's a popular politician on this shoe. Let me know in the comments section below who you think this politician is, and would you sell this if it made you a profit? So let's say that you are a Trump fan or a Biden fan. Would you sell the other party's stuff if it made you a profit online? Because regardless of what political affiliation you are, you know how passionate people can get about politics, right? They will buy stuff related to their favorite politician all day long. People will buy stuff related to being vegan. People will buy stuff being related to being a carnivore. Isn't it funny that if you have a shirt that says I voted, most likely you're on the left. If you have a shirt that has an American flag, most likely that represents you being on the right. Isn't that funny how those two symbols represent something, but both of those symbols exist? I see people wearing that stuff all the time, even living in California. So that being said, wouldn't you want a store that has both? This is just me thinking maybe outside the box of just creating something that's sustainable into the future. Maybe have a store that sells necessities and nostalgia. For me, I'm thinking to myself, why I'm in that demographic of people who loved Pokemon as a kid. I don't see that market bottoming out. I think it's going to go bigger and bigger and bigger until people from my generation are dead. Because as we accumulate more money, we're going to pay more and more money to relive our childhood. That's the same for Hot Wheel cars. That's the same for baseball cards. So many baseball cards have sold in the millions of dollars now because people collected them as a kid, and now they're super old and money doesn't mean anything anymore. They just want to relive their childhood. They would give anything to feel like they did when they were 9 years old. So nostalgia, necessities, let's figure out ways to develop supply chains and develop entire systems to sell that stuff. This video and all my videos are sponsored by my own Resellers Field Guide, which is $35 with code YouTube. It's very affordable and it helps me continue to make videos like this. I put a lot of love and energy into the systems that I want to transfer to you guys so that you can live life on your own terms. So I appreciate you guys. Smash the like button, consider subscribing, shoot me an email at chris@dailyrefinement.com if you want some wholesale. I'll see you guys later. Make progress daily.